GM, it is Tuesday, October 21st, and we're taking a look at our progress on our challenge and some charts as we do some prep for the week. Yesterday, Monday, the market hasn't been great on Monday, so I kind of took it easy, went to the beach, chilled for a while, and did a little bit of prep. So we'll take a look at that. Right now, we're at $550 on our challenge and risking around 20 bucks, something like that. It says I should be risking 80 max or something, like a quarter risk. Should really up that, I guess, based on this chart here to get at least a 2x in some of these trades. But it's been kind of choppy, so I've been giving the trades a little more room to breathe. So we will get into the charts now. Let's take a look. So you can see here, just by looking at sessions, New York's been pretty small ranges and reversals. It just hasn't been the best to trade in general. Everything, all the big moves happened overnight. Look at Tokyo. Boom, boom. Asia down last night. Now we're getting a bit of a bounce here off of that overnight low. So we'll measure the size of that bounce. Yeah, over 50%, which is nice that we want to see. So we got the 15-minute uptrend right now. And we are looking for a 4-hour lower high here based on the size of this drop. So we could see an EQ form out today. We're going to see what happens. Gold got a double top rejection yesterday. And damn it, I missed that, huh? I know I said on Friday after this candle I was looking for a lower high to short using that Dust ETF, and I didn't get the entry, but yesterday was the entry. Now that I see that, the short entry was yesterday. But we're also at support here on the ratio chart, meaning we could get some rotation here. This is a monthly chart, but go to the daily. We want to see daily uptrend confirm on this chart to tell us something is changing and some strength's coming back into Bitcoin versus gold. So there's potential there, but has not happened yet. Still this big rising wedge pattern. So we're keeping an eye on both. We have alarm set on lower time from dailies, plus we have the monthly chart there. USDT dominance. We got the tap. We looked at this on the liquidation and formed out this range. We did tap it again last Friday. Is this Friday? Yeah, last Friday. And now we're looking for a daily lower high here. We'll see if we get that and head back down to this mid-range. Be nice for some alt trades. We're at resistance again on total 2, but kind of this ascending triangle with a succession of higher lows. So there's potential here, but nothing has proven itself yet. So bulls have to prove themselves overall in the market here. We have alarm set, and we're not positioning too aggressively until some of these are taking and have some weekly closes above. Then it could be go time, but I have been seeing some people kind of chatter that it could be go time into the end of the year. I mean, based on these charts and what I'm looking at, it does have potential, but can't get too excited when nothing has happened yet. It hasn't happened just yet. Ethereum dominance here. Also looking for a weekly higher low. I got this range drawn out from 2018. So ETH dominance really bottomed out in April there, and perfect run of that liquidity. Look, we had the 2019 low, ran it by a tick, and then got our big monthly bounce going. Yeah, so we are looking for a weekly higher low there after 8 weeks of shallow pullback. Total, same deal, retest here after this breakout. So this one shows a little more promise than the other charts, and see if we get this expansion that we've been looking for, akin to 2017, which was cleaner. 2017 just got up and went there. Dominance, it looks a little tricky. So just this grind up, and a lot of times these grindy moves have some kind of volume before anything changes, and that happened here. But then we just grinded on up in the past. So I am looking for a weekly lower high, but there's no signs of it showing up just yet. And on to Bitcoin here. Like I said, we had that bounce. Currently rejecting off of the 15-minute 200. So I want to see back above that for any confidence, but we bounced basically much to the 0.50 of that move. Gave back yesterday's complete pump though. Yesterday morning this is Sunday. We're right back to where we're at. We're just range bound. Ethereum has a better, clearer to me daily EQ that I'm watching. So let me bring up Ethereum here. All right, so Ethereum, very clear daily EQ, cap by daily EMA 12 here. Little bit of divs at the bottom. There's potential here for a bullish setup, but we need to see it back above. Let's set an alarm for high day to start. We'll see if this is a bear flag and we end up down here towards daily oversold. We will look towards this 200 and low 3000s for some kind of entry. Or it ends up being clean and we get the daily EQ break bullish. But for now, gonna see which way this EQ breaks. We have two trades that are live open right now that you can see on the bottom left there. And they are for Sui. Had a short overnight, that was nice. And we can take a look at it quick before bouncing back. Yeah, so we shorted, I think this is an EQ, I think we shorted around here. Is that what it says? What's the entry? 256. Yeah, pretty close. Okay, so it was more here-ish. So yeah, it was the loss of this. We shorted, took profit this morning, 90% out for a $31 gain there, and then we had a long here that we're watching, but we're still have the short we're looking to add because this bounce is way crappier than Bitcoin's bounce that got over the 0.50. This is just bear flag territory. So based on that, I'm going to move my stop on the long to break even, which it actually already is. Look at that. And we'll keep an eye on that one. Zora had a nice move yesterday off daily EMA 12. There was an EQ of sorts. Yeah, see this 4 hour tightened up and now we're grinding on up. I think Zora was a nice one to play, but I didn't like longs. Like if these two candles were not here, if I did a replay, we had all these upper wicks in the daily. Still above daily EMA 12, but not an ideal spot for me to long, especially since I know this name likes to go oversold. So yeah, I mean, if you were in already, like I know trend was in from down here and here, then there's no reason to close it because you're above daily EMA 12. But for me, that didn't have a position, I didn't see a reason to open it. This one's interesting range. Almost trades like a commodity, like 2013, and kind of flirting with a monthly trend change here. Doge. We're going to open up an old template that we had from years ago. And look at the 2-day. And this is some higher time from stuff like 2020. Big move. I bet you we can draw some fibs here too. Like, say we go from this pump to... That's not the right tool. Here, hold on 1 second. There we go. Where's the low here? These are kind of extension targets based on trend based from the low to the high. And the 1.0 is right there. So I think these could be, yes, the 382s respecting nicely. These could be targets if we get a bounce. But we have been holding this 2-day 360 MA master. Look at this. Tap, 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 tap. Big flush, close above again. So not looking the worst. Maybe at another tap on that EMA, but I have no position right now. This one I'm kind of interested in, KTA. It's been down only since having a big move earlier. If I go to another chart that has more history. Here we go. So yeah, we had this EQ. It looks like I was looking at, that's what these lines are. And we broke bearish under, black dirt breakdown, and now we're getting a bounce. So daily trend change, I'll be interested in a daily high or low. Gonna keep it open and keep an eye on this one because I think it has potential. Bio, disappointing. I mean, we had this big move. I tried to play the weekly in here, didn't get it. Our daily downtrend, weekly downtrend. Tried to get a 50% bounce on some volume yesterday and giving back a bunch. It's not the worst setup, but it's not as clean as I would have liked off the bottom, like something like Pump that bled out forever, saw the new lows, finally took exhaustion, then had the trend change and went to new highs. So Aster is one that I'm watching for potential like that pump move. I tried to enter something on Bybit last night with this name, and I entered around here, it looks like, yeah. And got stopped out at 110 overnight for like $100 loss. It's not a different account, but now just watching this falling wedge-ish type behavior on the daily. And I do think it's similar to Pump. Let's look at Pump and how Pump played out in the similar vein narrative. So let's take a look at it on. So it wasn't quite a falling wedge, but was it Pump? No, that was Hype, right? Not Pump. Yeah, okay. It was Hype, not Pump. So similar, ran lows, kind of a falling wedge. Then we had a big daily stair step up, retest EMA 12, and that was the low that ran, 350%. So I think potential is here for Aster to do something similar, get a similar setup. And for that to happen, you would need, whether it happens here, you need a bounce here, daily EMA 12, and then you get your 400% moved up here. So that's what I'm watching on it. I kind of took there, maybe I got it a little early with that. Next, and now I'm just remaining patient, and we will set some alarms here on Aster, just up here for. Another one got stopped out at overnight, kind of bummer, but I entered right here, stopped out at 250, I think it was around here. It was like within the 250-minute candles before we got the move that I was looking for. So ZEC has been really strong. We have daily levels here that are really important, so we'll set some alarms. Good EQ here for a while. We have EMA support. Lots of taps on the way up, so definitely one to watch. Yeah, so it was just a big bag of disappointment. Zoomed out. $10 days left. This monthly EQ is looking a little shaky. So I don't know if it's going to play out as clean as we had hoped. Maybe the 2 week is cleaner. Yeah, 2 weeks not too bad, but really testing support now. So has to get going this week into next week. And if it ends up down here, $2 again, I'm definitely not looking to trade this anymore. It's like my main alt. I kind of shouldn't be trading it now, looking at other names that are proving themselves. You have the daily EMA holding on something like Zora, ZEC strong. You had these other setups that show potential, and this one's getting a little less clear. So I've just been more scalping it and taking profits where I need, but it's mostly sideways. Let's take a look on what's going on with Bitcoin. That's Ethereum. So I don't have these scenes set up too well just yet. Okay, so yeah, trying to get that bounce going. Low volume. Let's look at the volume without that spike there. Nothing too notable. We were hourly oversold this morning. Agles kicked in right around this green line here, which we had drawn. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Tap that exactly. So just a matter if we're going to get to new highs today. In that case, ETH would probably break bullish, or is this just going to be 4-hour lower high and we continue on our way down? And if we do continue on our way down, I mean, looking at the monthly, there's tons of room for a higher low. I mean, it could be 98K. It could even be down here 90. Yeah, there is room. But one thing that I know a lot of eyes are on the daily 200 we did test and got our initial reaction off of. So a lot of times we bounce around this 200 of indecision because it's such a looked at metric. I mean, you see it a lot of times in recaptures. It almost makes me want to go to the 2-day. Yeah. Maybe we get down here. 97, something like that. Also get demolished in that situation. So I know I was looking at some alt shorts on stuff like USDUC in the last video. Maybe that's something we can look at again today to get some swings on, because the scalping environment just been kind of dog crap. Look down here. Yes, I was looking for a short up here, which would have had a nice move down. 66%, geez. So this name's definitely, we got the weekly downtrend now. I think this name is a prime short contender. Just want to see if there's any market strength and we get a big bounce. I'm going to look for a short in this name. So that's that one. What's gold doing? How much? Sol ETH? I think Sol ETH is topped, honestly. I have mounting evidence that it's Ethereum's time if we get a alt season versus Sol, which had the trenches narrative, had this whole run up when ETH was on the way down. I just don't see it outperforming Bitcoin. I mean, ETH too much, especially. We are looking for a monthly lower high here, but 3-month higher low. So, could eat my words there too. We'll see. One to watch. And that's really all I got today. Watching this Ethereum daily EQ and trying not to get caught too much in the lower time frames. On other names I have over here with the ETH BTC, looking for a weekly higher low after 8-week shallow pullback after we took this liquidity high. QQQ is set the highs again, had the sucker punch, and just grind right back up. LAC, I sold my whole position. Pre's around $7. I think we could be looking for a new position in this soon, but sold most of it at 10. Sold the rest of it at $10. So we'll see if we get this monthly, how this monthly candle shapes up is gonna be telling. We have this gap here too. I would have liked almost like this big pump to end the month here and then get like a stair step that we can play, because now you get this big gap. It's not as clean as this move was. This move was even. So we'll see what happens there. The dust. Oh man, trying to get a long right there on that topping of that gold. 23%. Silver too, same deal. I had a silver long here on that 15 oversold. I think it was 15 oversold, hourly oversold, then the other 15-minute trend change, got a long, took profit here, and then I had the stop under here, which is still set, but it hit this new lows on SLV it was. So it hit these new lows pre-market, and the stop didn't trigger. Something happens with stocks. So I'm underwater a little bit of this position, but I think let's take a look at where my stop is. Even with taking half profit up here, I'm still underwater in this position a little bit. And the stop loss is 46.30. So we have to get way back up here to hit my stop. So I'll have to readjust this when market opens to under here and take a bigger loss than anticipated. Not a huge loss, but bear's proven itself a little bit there with the 4-hour downtrend. So now we will be looking at the 4-hour oversold here for a, what would that be? 4 hour oversold. Hourly oversold's 12 hour. 4 hour, be looking for a daily higher low off of EMA 12. So no big red flags, but something definitely changed here. Look, it happened here too. And we just got August 1st. Yeah, it changed here. And then we just got the daily bounce there. It wasn't enough of an uptrend. Now we're accelerating, so there's almost more credence to getting a bounce off of this back burner. So keep an eye out. We're going to close our silver long for now. That's where I sold my calls, $500. Okay. And I have a long on this name, small long, but it's one of the minor names. Just because it moves so much, I have a position on this guy around entry now. So what did the mood do after all-time highs? Okay, so here's the fractal I was saying with the kind of falling wedge on hype, and I was comparing this to Aster. But we got a nice bottom with some volume to support it. So that was one that had a few things showing potential bottom, especially with the vectors here. And then we got that flip and went on our way. So we'll definitely keep an eye on Aster to see if we get similar behavior. All right, that's all I got for today. We want to get a big trade going, but we're just waiting for the right opportunity. And until then, we're going to keep scanning. All right, bye.